All right, fellow goose chasers, we are back with another episode of Goose Chasing. It's been a little bit of a goose chase this past season, this past rut, this past November, past couple weeks, past couple days. I don't even know what day it is at this point. It's been one heck of a goose chase, and we've been a little inconsistent with the podcast, although we've tried our damnedest, but without tags filled from either one of your boys, it's been hard to sacrifice any time in the woods to get on here and record, but here we are.
We're here. Yeah, it's been a grind. All these editing these vlogs and then trying to hunt at the same time and then have somewhat of a personal life, which I don't have much of at this point, but
What are
doing
you
doing
saying?
doing what I can.
Yeah, I mean, and we're behind on all of it pretty much. So we're
it's
behind on vlogs, podcasts, and filling tags.
it's
We need a
just
we
been just been one of those years. Shit.
feels like you need a good swift kick in the old cheeks.
Just one of them damn years. Yeah, I don't know, but at this point it's last day of November. How insane is this?
We say it all the time. Don't wish the season away ever.
It
I mean, if you'd have told me I'm going into the afternoon hunt last day in November, hunted North Dakota twice, Wisconsin, Ohio, New York, Tennessee, going to Kansas, don't have a tag filled. Yeah, I'd have been
wow.
like, no way,
No way.
no way. Give me all your money.
But that's just something you can't control. You try to, but you can't.
We think we can. We do. We think we can.
Yeah, every year we go into it and you're like, man, we should be able to, should be able to fill 2, 3 buck tags this year.
Should be able to fill one in North Dakota right off the rip. Come back to Ohio. We'll fill one in October. Going to Rut Week. Feeling good. Already got 2 tags under the belt. Second day of Rut Week. See you later.
You try and paint the season before it's painted.
I know, and I've like
You can't do
lately
it.
lately I've been trying not to do that. I've been trying to do that less because I was doing that in the beginning of the year. I was like, yeah, we're gonna go to North Dakota, and it's gonna be we knew it was gonna be a weird, different year from the beginning because we started it off different. You got married, you went on your little honeymoon thing. I went to North Dakota with Kelly and Uncle Jay to start the season. Totally, I mean, different than the previous 10 years that we've done this.
Yeah.
And then, not that it was good, bad, or indifferent, but it started off different. Then you were able to come to North Dakota for 3 or 4 days. And after that trip, we kind of went our separate ways for Ohio. And here we ended up going back. I don't know. It just, yeah, this year has, in the beginning, I kept thinking like we have so much going on this year. We have so much going on, not only obviously outside of hunting, but in hunting. Like we're traveling to different states, we're planning more trips this year, and I'm just like, there's a lot going on. So every trip or every like part of the season that kind of slipped away, it was always like, nah, well, we're going to fucking Rut Week next week, or we're going back to North Dakota next week, and that's when we'll get it done. But shit, shit.
Sometimes sometimes like too much travel, like hopping around to different hunting spots is you got to go where the hunting is good, but it almost resets you, because then when you come back to wherever you were hunting, you're kind of like the season change, the conditions change, the deer change, so you're almost like at a reset point, like you're starting over every time you come back to where you were, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and normally that's a good thing. I feel like, normally, yeah, that's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing when you're filling tags because it's kind of a reset regardless, you know.
Yeah.
And you don't look at that trip kind of like you just said, like you don't look at that trip like, you know, I'm coming back to Ohio or I'm coming back to New York or I'm coming back to Tennessee for a reset. I mean, it is a reset, but you're coming back with a tag filled from wherever you were before. So you're like, fuck yeah, let's just keep rolling.
Yeah.
But this year it was, naturally without any tags filled between the two of us right now, you look back at the season and you're like, well, shit. Should I have stayed in New York a couple extra days, or should we have moved it a week back, or should I have been down here for whatever that middle part of November? I don't know. It just you naturally you go into the hindsight mode, and the reality of the situation is it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it comes down to you gotta like we're we're hunting big deer. That's what we like to do. Like mature deer, not big deer. Mature deer. I guess that is a big deer.
Sure.
Big body, whatever. Mature deer. And you have to, if you want to be successful or have a lot of opportunities, you need to hunt where those are. Not not even plentiful, just hunt where they are. And I just don't a lot of our spots, properties, we just didn't have a surplus of that this year. We didn't. Like go this we've had these summers before, but this was by far the worst summer of having any bucks on trail camp. Like
True.
having an excitement level for the season.
Yeah,
The
true.
only the only excitement level we had was we knew certain bucks lived and that we
Right.
were hoping they would come around, and some did and some didn't.
Well, a
But
lot of them didn't.
a lot of them didn't. But that was the only excitement we had because we didn't have jack shit on trail camera all summer long.
Yeah.
Anywhere, any state.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, I had a couple down here in Tennessee. I've literally since Velvet haven't ever seen them again. Like
No.
the two bucks that I'm hunting down here, I started seeing mid-October,
Yeah.
and it just so happened that they're here now. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's yeah, you got to hunt where big deer are, and you're right, they haven't been plentiful
Where we are.
where we've been.
And the couple of the ones that are have like half a rack or
Yeah,
3 points or what I yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely been a tough year. And it sounds like it's been a tough year for a lot of people because yeah, the rut was just weird. I know it's still lingering on, but not you're not getting this, same activity level that it's not a rut anymore. It's
no, no,
it's
no, 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 no. I
it's
mean, I
you
you're
might
start
get a doe or two that comes in. Maybe that
right.
causes a little flurry, but these deer are starting to go back to food now,
Yeah, I
especially with the
saw
snow here.
I saw a big little 6 pointer chasing 2 days ago, 2 mornings ago, and he was I mean, he literally, I saw him cruise by me, and an hour later, he picked up a couple does, and he was on the other side of me, and I watched him bump those does around for 45 minutes to an hour in the field behind me. And he was, I mean, he was like he wanted something.
Yeah,
I don't know if they were ready or prepared for any of that, or maybe they were already bred. I don't know, but he definitely still wanted something. But I know for me specifically on the couple bucks that I'm hunting down here, like I haven't seen either of them in a full week. And my based on my observation on trail camera and seeing the one in the last week, I should say, it's they got to be somewhere else like finishing out their last breeding for the year, I would think. Because they were both of them were pretty consistent, at least every couple days in this on the piece that I'm hunting. And I mean, for them to be gone like that, something obviously has taken their attention. So
Well, I mean, it maybe, maybe not. These bucks right now are there. If there's a doe available, obviously, like they're always interested, but
yeah,
they're not all day. They're not seeking anymore. Like they're definitely taking long rests right now. I
yeah,
think that's part of the reason why sometimes you don't see a buck for a couple days. They will literally lay down for,
days,
yeah, 10, 15 hours, maybe get up here and there, but
maybe more than that.
they are they're recovering,
Yeah,
and
true.
everything's going to start turning to food. Last night um I saw three nice 3-year-old that we have here in New York. He's like a magnet to me at this
You
point.
mean Ohio?
Or Ohio, sorry. And there were a bunch of does around, and he was blowing, like he was he was running around bumping all these does around. He was grunting, they were running everywhere. But I don't think it was anything to do with one of them being hot. I think he was just like, "Oh, there's does everywhere.
Somebody be
It's
hot.
still November, and yeah, I gotta hope something's going on here."
Yeah,
But I didn't see him. I didn't see him lock into.
no lip curling.
He might have done a little of that. He was definitely grunting, and that half rack that's super. Well, he's old buck. That he was definitely back there running them around too. But yeah, I don't. I think it's just the fact that those are around, and they're still gonna do that. They'll bump those like that around until January, but it doesn't mean that they're rutting.
Yeah, right, right, right.
But it ain't gonna get any easier.
No, it's not going to get any easier. I mean, down here specifically, there's no cold in the forecast, dude. I mean, it's going to be 60 degrees down here until we go to Kansas.
Yeah, we just got this blast of snow up here, cold temps over the past weekend, and then it's almost 50 degrees here. It's going to be 50 degrees here today. It's pure sun, and it's going to rain here and New York all weekend. So a lot of the snow that we just got is probably going to be gone by Sunday, Monday. Here,
And
it's
it's
probably
going
going
to
to be
be
gone by tomorrow night, and it's going to be a mess.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, you got to so yeah, you got to enjoy that white stuff while you got it.
um, but yeah. So, and then I looked at the 10-day forecast also, and I don't see any more like 20s,
Not for a minute.
teens, 20s, and that's up here too, which is so it looks like for the rest of the rifle season in New York, we're not gonna. I don't know if we'll have snow. I mean, we have snow right now. I don't know if we'll get more
Right.
to finish it out. Yeah, but food is what you're gonna have to target right now. That's 100%. And if we don't have snow in first couple weeks of December, if you got green anywhere,
Yeah, I agree.
that's gonna be where you gonna want to be.
Get on the greenage clover.
Activate the brassicas.
You know what's funny? Like we always wonder, and I do think trail cameras miss deer. Like obviously, they miss deer, but the deer, like at least what I've observed lately down here specifically, the deer that are on trail camera, when you go in and sit, you see those deer.
Yeah,
So you may have like a mystery cruiser that kind of just probably comes out of nowhere. But the ones that are living on your property or the ones that are living close by and using your property as a core, you're going to get like, I mean, if you have your trail cameras set up on food now, we're transitioning most of our trail cameras from scrapes to food. And, we may let a certain camera sit on the scrape a little bit longer just based on it being like an all year communication spot. But right now, the cameras are transitioning from, you know, the rut activity, scrapes and stuff like that to food or trails that lead into food, you know, what have you. But you're going to like, they don't lie. The trail cameras don't lie, whether you're seeing the deer on them or not. And that's been my observation for sure the last couple weeks. And I've I mean observed that all year long and observed that for the past couple years. I I I really find that to be true. Like that's why the trail cameras are so valuable because that most recent information is the best that you can go off of. It's the best that you got.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it doesn't matter the weather. I mean, the weather patterns obviously matter, but that most recent information, specifically if he is on camera and if he is on there in daylight or close to daylight, like you've got to go. You got to go.
That's for sure.
You got to go give yourself the opportunity because he's there. He's telling you that he's there. You know, and I wouldn't necessarily use the trail cameras as an excuse not to go, but definitely when he's showing himself, go, go, young boy, go.
I mean, if you take that topic a step farther, is you gotta know, and there's not always a perfect answer, but you also have to have your cameras set up in the right spots,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
if they're not in the right spots, you will miss deer. And there's
Yeah,
certain cameras that we have like up at camp in New York that I'll shift like I'm trying something out, and I'm like kicking myself right now because I know I'm not getting the deer on camera that we want to get, and now I'm not there right now to go. I don't want to keep going in and out of there all the time to adjust the cameras. You want to give it a little bit of time, but case in point, we have two cameras on a field, a big field of beans and corns, and our dad sat on it last night, and he saw 25 plus deer, and we got one picture of two small doe on both cameras combined all evening. So you gotta I always I always think, or like when I'm trying to move a camera, is you want to have as many reasons for the deer to go in front of that camera as humanly possible. If you're just finding like, oh, the right tree to put a camera on, and let me point it out into this field because the view's going to be good or whatever, you're I mean, you'll get deer on camera, but case in point from the evidence that we've seen, it's not a guarantee. You got to have, whether it's a little watering hole on the edge of the food plot or it's a scrape on the edge of the food plot. Now you have two reasons for the deer to be out there, or if it's a certain trail that 50% of the deer come out and onto a field, um, a certain corner, or if there's a tree in the field and it kind of pinches the deer between 2 points, whatever it is, you got to have multiple reasons for a deer to go in front of your camera for them to be effective. Otherwise, you will miss deer. And there's always spots where you got to learn. Like I said, you got to try and learn and shift around. Normally, when you hunt a property for a long time or you own property, you start to learn what
yeah,
spots those are and that they're kind of the same every year. So, but it still matters. Um,
yeah. And I mean, on a on a sizable like destination plot, that can be tough. You
yeah.
know, in your case right now, Ohio and New York with snow on the ground, this is a perfect time
Oh yeah.
to go shift your cameras
Yep.
because the most recent information, whether you have it on camera or not, is going to be there via
Yep.
track.
Yep.
So go put your cameras, like if you in your case, okay, you're going to go up to New York either tonight or tomorrow, and you're going to move those cameras, but where are you going to move them? You're going to go to the food plot and you're going to look at the most beat down deer trails that are coming onto that food plot, and you're probably going to put the camera somewhere close,
Yep.
facing the food.
Yeah.
I mean, this, the snow, the snow gives them up even a little bit more, and you can kind of, double down on your scouting tactics with your trail cameras, because they're going to tell you the most recent information. And if that path, or if their trail coming into the food plot shifted this year because, like you said, a tree fell down, or
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many factors that could be a part of that, but the snow is going to tell you a lot, and give you a lot of information on where you can just start scouting and start putting your trail cameras, let alone start hunting.
100%. And on top of that, a lot of people don't have to experience the lake effect snow, but if you are in a area where you get a lot of lake effect snow, do not face your cameras to the west because
North or west?
they will be out of commish for about 2 days if you get a blast.
Yeah, you'll get that wind, and that snow will cover them up quickly. And then it's like not having a trail camera in the woods at all.
At all.
It's like one of them deals.
Yeah, but
But
this is about the time where bucks they're kind of you're going to get certain deer that move to destination food or like late season food. You might get a couple deer that you've never seen before, or whatever you haven't seen since last year at this time, come into certain food locations. But I'm kind of noticing certain deer that were in areas at the beginning of the season and then moved.
they're coming back.
You start to see a couple of them come back to their core, their like summer or early fall
Yeah.
living area, and yeah, they're kind of just going back to those areas. Which, again, if you didn't have if you didn't have a big buck at the beginning of fall, you kind of know, well, these bucks are coming back. That's probably what's going to be there,
Yeah.
for the next month or so. And again, you could
There's
have deer that lived somewhere in the summer and early fall that didn't have a great late season food source, and they have to move, so
right.
they'll pop up. But yeah, there's a certain factor that comes in right now where you're like, oh, these bucks are moving back to where they were. Were you watching a buck during the rut a little bit? And this is about the time, if you don't have a lot of food, that he's gonna
Then he's gonna
disappear and
pace.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna go back to his home.
Well, yeah, and you can start to tell that by number one, you start seeing doe groups again, and that could be just the family, the mom and the two babies. You start seeing more of those again. Okay, mama's probably done been bred already.
Yeah.
Or you start seeing like groups, like Uncle Jay and I saw not 2 week in last weekend, yeah, whatever. But opening weekend down here in Tennessee, where you're starting to see 5, 6, 8 doe in a group, and you're like, all right, well, them have already been shellacked. So that's when you can kind of start to tell the rut is winding back down.
Yeah, you're on the
Also,
back half.
you're sitting on food, and even I'm observing the cameras from Tennessee and New York and Ohio, and you start seeing multiple bucks on a food source at the same time together, and it's like, all right, well, testosterone's lowering, and the bellies are starting to get hungry, and that's kind of the point in the season and the shift that we're about to be making.
Yeah, and I'm starting to the last few nights I've seen a lot of young bucks
To
scrapping again.
just together and
Yeah.
hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like it's not a rut scrap.
No, they're just
It's
like, hey,
just boys being boys.
Henry, good to
'Cause
see you, man. Did you
you
get any
see
ass this
yeah,
fall?
it's stuff you see them do in September when they're still bachelored up with their hard horn,
Right. Right.
and they're just kind of
Boys will be boys.
starting to figure out their pecking order. But yeah, they're just. But I saw 1, 2, and 3-year-old bucks last night. That's because that's the only ones I saw. But they all were doing it. So just the testosterone things are changing a little bit. But that doesn't mean we've shot bucks before in New York and stuff in the first week of December that were literally locked on doe. So
Rutted up. Yeah. You get
the
that
I think the
yearling straggler,
yeah,
and or maybe one or two that slip through the cracks.
old bucks, like especially in New York, the old bucks, because there's few of them, they're probably if there's does around, they're gonna be with them.
Yeah.
That are not in yet. They're gonna know where they're gonna find them
Yeah, they're gonna find them.
because they're
Yeah.
gonna rut. They're just gonna rut the longest. It doesn't mean they're not gonna be on food sources or like starting to recover and do their thing. But if there are doe coming in, there's likely gonna be an older buck.
Well, yeah, I mean, the original Sventech, that was December 7th, and he
Yeah,
was I mean, he was on that doe enough when you saw him the first time to
he
stay
wasn't
with
leaving her.
her to go back into the thicket that we ended up wind bumping him out of.
Yeah.
So what do you say about that?
What
I
do
mean, I don't
you
know.
what are you gonna say about that?
I mean, was she hot? I don't know. Was she not? I don't know. He knew,
He
but
wanted her to be.
but he's dead now. So it's just like, what do you say about that?
What do you do?
R.I.P. Sventech. Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, you can get down about it. You can get down and frustrated and pissed off and resentful, whatever. But it's like, why? I mean,
You can't control it.
and it sucks when you feel like that. It sucks.
Yeah,
So
it's not fun.
why?
It's not fun.
It's not fun. It's not fun to not only just go out and hunt and be one with the bush, but like for filming it, I mean, you're definitely not having fun. And if for it to be any sort of entertainment or any sort of like value to watch, like it's got to be a little fun.
Yeah,
So
it's just totally the style of hunting you're you're doing. Because if you like, I look at I've had one of the probably in terms of big buck opportunities, I've had probably one of the worst seasons I've had in a while. But I look back at my whole season, I'm like, if I was just a the weekend hunter who didn't film, I was just like my weekend passion, and I saw some of the bucks that I have seen, and I didn't have the like I didn't have a passion for like growing deer and stuff like that. I'd be having a record season.
yeah, and you'd be tagged out
I'd
for
be
sure.
tagged out. Yeah.
I mean, the one buck you passed, I just the vlog's gonna launch tomorrow, but the one buck you passed in Ohio was stupid.
Well,
Like,
I mean the one buck's 2.5, but both of them are nice.
yeah,
You
oh
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but so yeah, it's just you with this style of hunting and like managing deer, you have to have years like this.
yeah,
Otherwise,
right.
it's not managing deer.
Right. Well, and that like brings up. I was thinking about it, like passing deer, and it like not even just. I guess not even, yeah, but passing deer, like you pass a deer and then it goes and gets shot by the neighbor, or better yet, you pass a deer, it makes it through the year, and you're like, fuck yeah, he lived, and then you never see him again.
Yeah.
Like you literally never see him again.
Yeah.
And he could have gotten hit by a car. He could have gotten poached by God knows who, Billy Bob down the street with the friggin' spotlight and the 30-06 off his back porch. He
He
could
may
have got,
he
he
may
could
have
have,
just up and left and lived somewhere else because
yeah,
they
he
do
could
that a
have
lot.
just, right. He could
They
have
don't
just
have
been like,
boundaries.
this, this spot sucks now. And Gerald over here has been whooping my ass all fall. So I'm going to go fucking find some ass that I don't have to fight for. How about that? But
It
like,
is.
it's crazy to me because we pass all these deer, and I think a lot of the motivation in the moment of passing that deer is to see what he's going to be next year. It's
Yeah.
There's some of it is because it just doesn't meet the standard that you're after. Some of it is. Some of it that is that. But a lot of it is like, man, we're gonna fucking pass this bitch and he's gonna be a fucking giant next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? We don't even we have no idea if that's going to be true or not either.
No.
Like we're always banking on like the hindsight, Like, well, this deer, he's a mainframe 10 point, he's going to be a mainframe 17 point next year with kickers coming off his bases and a horn growing out of his ass for sure. He's 19 years old. Why wouldn't he be? But I don't know. It's such a weird thing. Like, it's such a weird thing to think about, do, just be like, yeah, we're going to let this one go so that he can grow bigger next year and that we can shoot him next year. And we don't even know what the hell we're going to shoot this year, let alone what's going to happen next year or the year after that or the year after that. It's I don't know. From a hunting perspective, it's a very weird uh part of the game that has become part of the game. It's very weird to me.
It is.
Not to say, I mean, I do it. Like
Yeah, I
I
love to do it.
yeah, exactly. Like that big sixer two nights ago, I wanted to melee his ass. I wanted to just I never seen him before, but I'm just like, man, I should just
W-
let it rip through your lungs just for walking in front of me at 3:30 in the afternoon, you bastard. But I didn't. And it's cuz that part of it for me was cuz it was like it's not reaching the standard that I loan for. Also a weird thing.
Yeah, and
We
yeah,
put this on ourselves. We put this on
we
ourselves.
do.
I mean,
And
we do.
to me it's so it not situational, but like if it's your own property and like, like camp is to us. If it's your
Sure.
own property that you're going to hunt for for years and every year and you want to watch like you have a passion for just watching these deer,
Yeah,
it makes sense.
for sure.
But in other areas, if you're talking like 5 acre pieces of property you're hunting or a lease that you picked up this year that you have no idea if you're going to have it next year, it changes the scope a little bit in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
you still have a standard, but the standard is also like just go be a hunter
yeah,
as well.
sure.
Like like are you doing this for like is it all about the maturity in the rack, or are you trying to put some some venison cheeseburgers on the table?
I know, and I'm leaning more towards the latter lately. I am,
Well,
and
again,
that's not.
there's nothing wrong with like that's how it should be. There's nothing wrong with that just being a deer hunter.
Yeah,
At the end of
like,
the day, that's why deer hunting is a thing. It's for food.
well,
Obviously, there's other reasons, but at the end game is let's put a couple meals on the table.
yeah,
Not
exactly.
a couple, a lot.
Right. No, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, and that feeling over the feeling of I want to shoot something mature, big, my standard, whatever that is, that the hunter feeling has been taking over me a lot as of lately. And I think a lot of it is because I look at our season and I'm like, damn, spent a hell of a lot of time preparing for this season, thinking about this season, planning trips and being different places to hunt this season. I want that hunter feeling out of it. Like I want the hunter success feeling out of it. And I at this point, I'm not caring as much that it's like the big buck anymore. I just want to get like I'm seeking that feeling.
Well, I
And
mean, not every buck you shoot has to be like it's got to go on the wall.
no, no, and I agree with that. I agree with that. But then on the flip side, I'm like I do like to see them grow. I like to see, and I have a standard for myself from a buck standpoint. So I don't know that I would necessarily just whack a small buck just to whack a deer.
Yeah,
But the next doe that gives me an opportunity, we need cutlets. And
yeah, we do. I'm running low.
I need to, I want to feel that release of an arrow. Like I don't want to go a whole season without feeling that.
Yeah,
I want to feel like that hunter instinct, that hunter, the chase, the completing some sort of chase, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
But, taking it from start to finish, and like you said, putting meals on the table. That's a personally, that's a pride. There's a feeling of pride in that I seek every year as a hunter. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's why
There's not.
that makes hunters great people. That pride, and that it could be selfish, but that pride in being able to provide is something that I seek. And so, yeah, I mean,
Well,
I don't know if I'll do it tonight. Maybe November 30th, we'll just hunt as we have been. But when that page turns to December at midnight, I'll tell you what, slickies are definitely going to be in jeopardy.
dope.
I'm going to throw one of them
Do you
skinny little cedar bumping slickies over my shoulder and Cam Haines that hoe right out the woods into my truck.
DMP December?
Manhunt Wednesdays. We might have to bring those back.
And I mean, just going off of that more, like if you don't, if not everyone has access to 14 properties. Like if you have one spot you hunt, one property, maybe you have like a 10-acre piece that's the only thing you hunt throughout the year, and you just don't have like there's not always going to be a giant deer there, a big
True.
deer. So
True.
obviously, if that's your property you own and you want to let deer go, that's what I would do. I respect that. But again, if it's just like a fun thing for you, don't what are you gonna do? Sit there all season and wait for like something that's not gonna come in? Like
Shoot something.
hunt. Yeah, shoot something.
And do it for you. Like if it gets you fired up, I mean that's why that sixer the other night had me all jacked up because he legit got me fired up where I was like, dude, I will take the air out of you right now and be pretty happy about it. Right. And so like, I don't know, but that's what you have to like if that buck comes in and it jacks you up, don't be thinking about the dickhead on Instagram that's gonna be like, oh, you should give that buck another year, you fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that guy. I mean, the dude on YouTube who's like, oh, well, if I had 150 acres and food plots for me to hunt, well, I would shoot a big deer like that every year. Fuck you too, dude. Like, we work for this shit.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think the all this stuff just randomly grows and all these tree stands just
yeah,
get thrown up by themselves and all these trails get cut and all these cameras get shifted and
somebody hit record for me.
yeah, you packed your suitcase full of equipment every morning to go in the tree. You charged all your cameras. You offloaded all your footage. You edited all your like someone. It's all just done for you
Yeah,
for free.
too easy.
Just done. You just
Too easy.
clap your hands, and everything you need to be done is done.
Well, I think too many times too, like I get trapped into it too, where you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. You see all these big deer going down, and you're like, that should be me. That should be me. I'm putting the time in. Why isn't that me? And so you kind of think like that should be happening to you, but maybe it should, but maybe not, or maybe you're just not shooting the deer that are right in front of you.
Well, it's also like people are only posting that
Right?
kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So that's the only stuff you're going to
To see.
see, at least in the hunting world. So
Yeah, you have no idea how long they've
if
been.
you got 1,000 followers or friends or people you follow that all hunt, and 7 of them are posting pictures of big bucks that they've harvested, that's a very small percentage
True.
of the massed hunters and huntresses.
That's true.
It's not happening. It's not happening to everybody, but sometimes it seems like it is.
Sometimes it does seem like it is. And we don't have any control over it at the end of the day. Only thing we control is being there, our attitude, and holding it together when the moment of truth actually does happen.
Because it can all change tomorrow. It can all
Because it
change tonight.
could all change tonight. Could all change in like an hour.
I've been following it's kind of cool, Jay Gregory. He's
Yeah.
like heavily on TikTok.
Is he?
Yeah, which is I thought was kind of surprising. But he posts like this guy, he posts morning and afternoon updates, like a couple minutes on his TikTok. Like they're not, he's not like making a TikTok like dancing and it's none of that crap. It's literally an update of what he did. And like some people will comment and be like, dude, all you do is talk, like you don't shoot any deer. He's having a like hard season. Like he
Yeah.
hasn't killed anything. Well, I don't know if he did early season, but where he's hunting the last month, he hasn't. But he just said he responded to a couple of these people and he was just like, I'm just giving people updates on what like you don't have to watch this stuff and you don't kill deer every time you go
In
in the woods. He's like
100% Jay.
I'm having a I'm I'm having a tough go at it. He's like I'm getting my butt whooped, but I'm going to keep doing it and it could all change tomorrow or today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's like that's what I'm going to do. And I'm like, "Damn it, Jay, you're right."
Damn it, Jay. You are right. We should do that, or at least incorporate that.
Yeah, might start cuz honestly it is yeah, it's cool. And he's hunting I think it is mainly Iowa. But this dude, he hits the horns together. It doesn't matter what time it is or what. He hits them together and something comes in. I don't know if it's just what I don't know if it's played up a little bit, but he's like I just hit the horns and I got one coming in. It's not a shooter, but I'm going to show him to you. And then he like turns the camera on and this like 2 or 3 year old's like he's like he's going to come right to the base of the tree.
And here he comes.
Here he comes. But yeah, it's just cool to because as a as a deer hunter that hunts a lot, I like seeing. I don't care if you got something or not. I like hearing the updates. I like hearing what you're
Yeah.
experiencing is similar to what I'm experiencing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I've been listening to Brackett and Don Higgins. I've been following them religiously, and it's because I like I like seeing the updates because I'm observing something both on trail camera and observation with my own two eyes, and I want to know I want to see what is true. And the crazy part is a lot of what they're observing or what they have kind of predicted for like today's movement or tomorrow's movement. I'm like, well, well,
Kind of. I saw some similarity. I saw some
yeah,
correlation there.
yeah, I'm seeing some correlation there. I'm taking notes on this.
Yeah. No, I like to follow. I mean, hate him or not, I love list bracket. I just take in the information because
The dude's a whitetail genius. I
he's
mean,
a
on
land
his
manager. This is what he does
yeah,
every day.
he's a very good land manager and he knows deer. You can hate him or love him. He knows deer.
Look at the ones
And
he
I
shoots.
and I was not I didn't condone or didn't like or anything of the shit that went on with him. But we all like, hey,
Yeah,
I've
whatever.
I've
It's in the
made I've
past.
made I'm not saying who cares. I've also made mistakes in my life, so I can't sit there and crucify the dude until he's done, because he made a terrible mistake. A moment got the best of him. It is what it is. It doesn't take away from his knowledge the knowledge that he has, and he's knowledgeable at this stuff. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. It's kind of cool. He like amps you up a little bit. He's like, "Oh, this moon and these warm temperatures." He's like, "You better be in this tree from 11 a.m. to dark." And
Yeah,
you're like, the bucks are going to be on their feet. These and he calls them like whatever, Ghostbusters and like
yeah.
I don't know. You're just like, "Oh shit, I got to get in
And
there."
that dude, over a lot of others, just says it exactly like it is.
No, he doesn't care.
Like exactly like a lot of how he portrays himself and just says things. I wish I did more anyway. I wish I just
Yeah,
had the balls to just be like, this is what I feel like. And not give a fuck. Not give a fuck who's listening, who's watching, whatever. Like you're gonna either judge it or you're gonna relate to it. And however you take it is how you take it. But I mean, yeah, he's talked about a lot of topics that have hit home for me, and he talks about them very freely, as if we're experiencing it with him, essentially.
Yep.
And I think it's cool. He doesn't really bash anybody in the process either. He's just spelling it out.
It's good stuff.
What do you think about this here, Daniel? Well, um, yeah, we should probably wrap this up because I need to get my shit together and go get in the bush. If bracket says 11 to dark, well, fucking late.
He did say the warm up could be a thing, but who the hell knows? It's probably gonna be a last light move tonight, I feel, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, and I haven't seen the buck that I'm after on trail camera in like a week, so I'm probably gonna go sit and not see shit.
Shoot a spike. Once a spike, always a spike.
Yeah. If Mama Sita comes over and she's acting frisky though, and I can visualize the short track job and even shorter drag to the truck, well, she might be in jeopardy. Because I need loins in my life.
If
Inner fucking loins.
if she's facing if she's facing the truck or the way out,
Let it rip.
let her rip.
I'm gonna. I think
Let
I'm gonna. I'm
watch.
excited about it too.
And then she does an about face, banana curl, and 100 yards the other way.
And he shows up right after.
Down a
And you
hill.
don't have an arrow knocked anymore.
No. No.
Well, well, folks, we got some Ohio, New York, Tennessee vlogs that are launching on the channel daily from here on really here to the next week or so. Realistically, we have some requests for New York rifle hunts, so get on that, bro. Get on that.
Man, so I gotta go shoot something.
And a week from tomorrow, we're gonna be leaving for Kansas.
Wow.
That's a trip your boys have been dreaming about since we were young little boys. So
No, honestly, with that, no idea what to expect. So maybe
zero
maybe that's a good thing.
zero idea what to expect, zero expectations, just knowing and loving that the dream keeps getting bigger and keeps coming truer because
Mhm.
it's a bucket list place. Never really knew how to go about getting in there, hunting there, where we were going to go. And the good Lord blessed us with an opportunity. So, Lord willing, maybe we'll make good on something there. Who knows?
Gonna give it a go.
But for all you guys out there still chasing tail and trying to fill tags, God bless you. Keep the goose chasing alive. We're going to be goose chasing right along with you. And subscribe to all of our stuff.
Please.
We'll see y'all right here next week on Wednesday, we promise.
Goose chasing.
Peace.